Hi viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we are here to discuss about why Africa is still poor. No emotion, political system aside, religious system aside, just reality. Why is Africa still poor, yet it holds 30% of world minerals? That's our main discussion. So we are going to discuss three main issues why Africa is still poor, just on a realistic way, in a structured way, but not in emotional way, but not on a political blame. So we are going to discuss why Africa is still poor. The number one issue is low productivity. When we talk about low productivity, that's the outcome. That's the outcome of work that is done by the citizen of a country. Like if we are to take an example of Uganda and Ethiopia, you find that in Uganda almost 70% of the people who are in Uganda, they're doing agriculture, subsistence farming. They're doing agriculture in a very local way. They depend mostly on rain, with a small piece of land. They also use basic tools like hoes, the racks. That's what they're using. Now, when you are to dig deep, even though there are 70% of the Ugandans who are working in agriculture, but they contribute less to the economy of Uganda. So we are in the GDP of Uganda. We have 50 billion to 55 billion US dollar. That is the GDP of Uganda. But out of that 50 billion, if you are to determine in terms of percentage, that is, you'll see the farmers or the agricultural sectors in Uganda, they only provide 24% 24% to the GDP of Uganda. Services business that's in Uganda, they provide 49% of the GDP. Then industry, they provide 27% of the GDP. That's what they're doing. So when you are to take a look at Ethiopia, the same thing. We have 65% of Ethiopian citizens who are doing agriculture, but if you are to look deep on the GDP that they are contributing, you find they are contributing like around only 32% to the economy of Ethiopia. As the industry sector in Ethiopia, they're contributing 28%. At least they're trying, but this still contribute less. That is what we call low productivity. The services in Ethiopia, they're providing like about 49%, and they have the GDP of 150 billion to 170 billion US dollar. That's the GDP of Ethiopia. Take a look at Nigeria. In Nigeria, this is where the largest population or the largest economy of Africa is coming from. You find like about 80 to 85% of people in Nigeria, they're doing small business. In the informal sectors, the small business, which may be the small street vendors, transport business like the borders, the KK people, small queues. Those are what they're doing. If you are to dig deep, the GDP that small business group that are contributing to Nigeria, you find that the agricultural sector in Nigeria that contributed 20 to 25% of the GDP of Nigeria, and services business in Nigeria that contributed 57% of the GDP in Nigeria, and that GDP is 285 billion to 380 billion US dollar. That is the GDP of Nigeria. The number two issue, or the second issue, is the weak infrastructure. When we dig into infrastructure, first of all, let us take a look at Congo. Congo, they are they're among the leading country who are producing critical minerals that are supporting in the electronics and batteries. Like for instance, in 2025, Congo they produced 3.4 million tons of copper and 220,000 tons of cobalt. But all these products are exported as raw products, but not as finished products. So this one always reduce the value of a product that is being exported to another country. This always affects a country's economy so much. So at Kenya, they are fully developed. They are somehow developing infrastructure, but the challenges they are facing is the challenges of electricity. The electricity cost is very high, which always make the factor of production very expensive, and the end products also to be very expensive because there is high cost of electricity. Even South Africa is considered the most industrialized country in the whole of Africa, but they are also facing the same challenge of electricity. Electricity is also a very big challenge in the country. They are working every day, but the cost of electricity is really very high, which always slows down the product, and also expensive costs of production. This also affects a lot. So when there is unreliable electricity, always slows down the factories. So here is also another key point. When you are to look at Cote d'Ivoire, they are the largest producer of cocoa in the whole of Africa, but they export the cocoa in raw products instead of exporting it in a finished chocolate, which always lowers the economy of Cote d'Ivoire as a country. This also affects a lot. You have to master one thing in this one. Know that the real money is not made in exporting or selling of raw products, but real money is made in finished goods. When you manufacture finished goods, that's when the real money is made, but not from raw products. Look at Ghana. They have the best level of literacy in the whole of Africa, but they still struggle to employ skill-based employees. Why? because they're not training enough skills labor to facilitate the process of industrial growth, which always changes the economy of a country. They don't have such, but the education system is good. Take a look at Rwanda. They have the best education system and health system, but
But the opportunity, you are the one to keep looking for it. You keep pursuing it. It goes under the table, you follow it there. Wherever it is
they're
hiding,
still struggling.
keep chasing the opportunity. You have a task of not getting
Of
tired.
industry can move on smoothly. So these are challenges that are still keeping us the African. On the other hand, countries like Chad, they are facing real challenges of education system. They are the ones facing this kind of challenges. So how many years would it take for a country like this to develop, to solve the issue of human capital? It will be a long run. These are the things that are still contributing to the poor economy in Africa. So what happened? We have the growing population with not enough skilled labor to drive industrial growth in Africa. That's what's happening. That's the challenges that we are facing from the human capital. The population is there. People are there. But skilled labor are not enough to drive the industrial growth in the continent or in all the African countries. These are the challenges that we are facing that is still lacking us behind. Let's take a look at the bigger economic pattern. When we talk about bigger economic pattern, when you start combining from Uganda to Nigeria, Nigeria to Ghana, Ghana to Rwanda, Rwanda to Kenya, you realize that all. So we have these challenges, which is repeating in all these countries. That is low production. Low production, the production is very low, which always results to low income. When the production is low, it takes you to low income. When the income is low, automatically there will be low investment. So when there's low investment, there will always be what? There will always be weak infrastructure. So when there is weak infrastructure, it will take us back to low productivity. So this is the economic pattern that is really keeping Africa behind. We are working, but there is no outcome. We are working hard every day, but the production is low. That's why Africa is lacking behind. When we go to number five, this is a reality check. So reality check, these are opportunities that are created from these problems that real entrepreneurs can solve. Or the smart entrepreneurs, if they are wise enough, they can solve this problem in Africa. For example, when we talk about Uganda and Kenya, you realize that there's a factor of production in agriculture. That is, most of the farmers, they're depending on rainfall with basic tools to run the farm, which always bring low production in agricultural sectors. So this sector, if there is a wise entrepreneur, can come up with a system like irrigation farming, using other mechanized tools to operate agriculture. using of combine harvesters to operate agriculture. So when there's a wise farmer who mechanize the system in agriculture, there is automatically be high production, which always strengthen the economy of the country. Look at Nigeria and South Africa. There is a problem of production also. So there they can improve by improving the sector of local production, that is local industrialization. So when there is local industrialization, it always reduce the dependency, the level of dependency of exported goods from other countries. This can also improve the economy of a country. Remember, exported goods always takes a huge sum of money from a country to another country. Take a look at Rwanda. What should be done there as a wise investor in order to generate enough money, or in order to improve the economy of Rwanda and Ghana? What they need to do is they should focus on what we call the skill-based training of workers to have enough skills that are required. So the same problem that is slowing down growth in different African countries, this is the same problem that the smart entrepreneurs can invest in to change a better living, or to change a new Africa, in order for us to live in, or to see that the economy of a country is growing. That's what can be done. So the question is why? Why is Africa still poor? It's not like Africa is not having the resources. We have the resources, all the resources that is required for growth. That is land. It's also needed. Water is needed. Human capital is also needed. Plus the sun or the solar. Those are the four basics requirement that is needed in order for a country or a continent to grow. We have all those things. So if it is still your first time in my channel, please subscribe, like for more African story. This is how we tell the African story. If it is still your first time, please subscribe to support this channel.